We've all been there. You set a massive goal on January 1st. You are completely motivated. You rely on sheer willpower to completely overhaul your life. For about 2 weeks, it works. And then, life happens. You miss a day. Then 2. And before you know it, you are right back where you started. Why do we fail? I'm talking about self-doubt. If you have ever struggled to build a good habit or break a bad one, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. In his monumental bestseller Atomic Habits, James Clear argues that we shouldn't focus on massive, earth-shattering transformations. Instead, the secret to lasting success lies in the compound interest of self-improvement, getting just 1% better every day. Today, we are going to break down the definitive framework for behavior change. We'll cover why goals are actually holding you back, the crucial identity shift you need to make, and the 4 laws of behavior change that will make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Let's dive in. Most of us are taught that to achieve what we want, we need to set specific, actionable goals. But James Clear points out a massive flaw in this logic. Winners and losers have the exact same goals. Every Olympian wants to win the gold medal. Every candidate wants the job. If successful and unsuccessful people share the same goals, then the goal cannot be what differentiates them. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. If you completely ignored your goal to write a book, and focused only on the system of writing 200 words a day, would you still succeed? Yes. But to truly make a system stick, we have to go deeper than our actions. We have to change our identity. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but you'll only stick with it if it becomes part of your identity. Imagine 2 people trying to quit smoking. When offered a cigarette, the first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." It sounds reasonable, but they still believe they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. The second person says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." It's a tiny shift in phrasing, but a massive shift in psychology. The goal is not to read a book, the goal is to become a reader. Every time you read a page, you are casting a vote for that identity. So, how do we start casting those votes? We use the 4 laws of behavior change. Every habit is triggered by a cue. If you want to build a good habit, you have to make the cue impossible to ignore. The 2 most powerful cues are time and location. To leverage this, Clear introduces a concept called implementation intentions. Instead of saying, "I will work out more," you write down, "I will exercise for 20 minutes on Tuesday at 6 a.m. in my living room." You give your habit a specific time and space in the world. But the most powerful application of the first law is environment design. We often attribute success to willpower. But people with the highest self-control actually use it the least. They just design their environments so they aren't constantly tempted. If you want to practice guitar, don't leave it in a case in the closet. Put it on a stand right in the middle of your living room. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow every morning so it's waiting for you at night. Make the cues for good habits obvious, and the cues for bad habits invisible. The second step in the habit loop is the craving. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit-forming. This is driven by dopamine. Interestingly, dopamine is released not just when we experience pleasure, but when we anticipate it. It's the anticipation of the reward that gets us to take action. To make hard habits attractive, use temptation bundling. This is where you link an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For example, you love listening to a specific true crime podcast, what you want to do, but you need to go for a run, what you need to do. The rule becomes, I am only allowed to listen to this podcast while I am running. Suddenly, you are looking forward to the run, because you are anticipating the podcast. Another vital way to make habits attractive is joining a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to get into coding, join a Discord of developers. We are social creatures, we soak up the habits of those around us. Human beings are wired to conserve energy. By default, we will gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. So, if you want to build a habit, you must reduce the friction associated with it. If you want to eat healthier, chop up a bunch of fruit and vegetables on Sunday so they are ready to eat in the fridge all week. Make the good behavior the path of least resistance. But what if the habit itself is just fundamentally hard? This is where James Clear's most famous technique comes in, the 2-minute rule. The rule states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. It sounds ridiculous. You might think, what is the point of reading 1 page? But the point is not to do the whole thing. The point is to master the art of showing up. A habit must be established before it can be improved. You have to standardize before you can optimize. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist. So, make it so easy you can't say no. The first 3 laws increase the odds that a behavior will be performed this time. The 4th law increases the odds that a behavior will be repeated next time. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. The problem is, good habits have a delayed return. The reward for going to the gym doesn't show up for months. The reward for eating a donut shows up instantly. We need to attach an immediate, satisfying reward to our good habits. The best way to do this is with a habit tracker. Crossing a day off the calendar or checking a box in an app provides immediate visual evidence of your progress. It is incredibly satisfying. Jerry Seinfeld famously used this method to write jokes every day, calling it "Don't break the chain." But of course, we are human. The chain will eventually break. When it does, Clear provides one final, golden rule: never miss twice. If you miss 1 day at the gym, it's a mistake. If you miss 2, it's the start of a new habit. Reclaim your identity immediately. Atomic Habits teaches us that success is not a goal to reach or a finish line to cross. It is a system to improve, an endless process to refine. If you are having trouble changing your habits, remember the 4 laws. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. What is one atomic habit you are going to implement today using the 2-minute rule? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be replying to the best ones. If this breakdown helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the books and frameworks that can change your life. Until next time, focus on the 1% and keep building your system.